Welcome in, One Nation, to another episode of A Thing or Two About a Thing or Two. I'm your host, TJ Winger, today joined by Alex Boatwright, goalkeeper for the field hockey team. Alex, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So, we're talking the academic side of your life. I know you do a ton on campus, but let's start with, what are you studying?
I'm a nursing major. So.
What made you want to study nursing?
So my whole life I've definitely been interested in medicine. Specifically when I got to high school, I took an anatomy class and I really enjoyed it. And then I also have had some family friends who are nurses, and just getting to kind of hear about what their job is like. And also like my love for my passion for medicine just kind of made it seem like it was a good career field to go into. Then as I got here to Lynchburg and I started taking some of the prereqs and got into the nursing program, it really just seemed like a perfect fit. So yeah.
And actually, on that note, we live in a time where, there's this whole pandemic still going on, and nurses have been, stretched thin, to say the least. Mm-hmm. How has that impacted or maybe even motivated you even more to be like, hey, I want to go out there and help people. I want to be a nurse?
Yeah, so, it's been pretty interesting. Actually, a couple weeks ago, the dean of the School of Nursing sent us an email saying that for some of our clinicals, we're actually going to be caring for COVID patients now.
Wow.
So it seems as though, the hospital systems, they have been they've been stretched thin with everything that's going on, and definitely overwhelmed by the number of patients coming in with COVID or COVID-related problems. So I think that as a nursing student, it's definitely a little bit scary, but given the fact that COVID's been here for a while and will likely continue to be a part of our lives moving forward, it's a great opportunity for me as a student to get to see kind of what that looks like in a patient. And then especially as a senior, next year I'm going to be a nurse in the hospital setting, potentially caring for these patients. So it's a great opportunity for me to learn and to really kind of get my feet wet in that regard, so I can understand and know what to expect, and then further be able to take care of patients better in the future. So
yeah, I think I hear that a lot from other student athletes I've had on this podcast, talking about getting real world experience. Mm-hmm. There's one thing to learn about stuff in a book and kind of have an idea, but then there's another to go out there, do it, and actual gain that actual experience, I should say. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a tough task ahead of you, though. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a scary task, but I'm confident in my preceptors and in the education I've gotten here at Lynchburg. So I know that when I'm in that setting, I can be confident in my skills and definitely learn a lot to provide the best care for patients as possible, because that's ultimately what they deserve. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And now pivoting away from the classroom, I know you were the president for SAAC. Are there any other clubs and organizations you're involved in, or is SAAC your main priority?
SAAC is definitely my main priority.
And then field hockey.
Yes,
of course.
Absolutely. But I'm also I'm a member of the NAACP here on campus, so awesome. It's the inaugural chapter, which is super exciting. The former president of SGA, Davion Washington, he and Dr. Canada last year, they did a lot of work to try to get this chapter here on campus. And they got everything together and set in motion to where we finally have the inaugural chapter this year. So to be a part of that has been really amazing, and to get to know that I was here on campus when it started, and to see where the organization is going to be able to grow, and to see how much they're going to be able to do and hopefully make an impact here on campus as well as in the city of Lynchburg is pretty cool. So
that's awesome. What is that process like, founding and creating another or a new organization on campus?
Yeah, so I was not a part of kind of the foundational, the establishment of it. More so they had several interest meetings just to see if this is an organization that students wanted on campus. And as soon as I saw that, that's definitely something that I was very interested in. But I do know that both Davion and Dr. Canada, they had to do a lot of work with gauging the interest and making sure there was going to be enough people who would want to be a part of this and want to try to make this a successful organization on campus. And they really did a lot of the work. So I give them the credit for that.
Totally.
But they worked very hard, and it's really cool to see and to know that the University of Lynchburg has a chapter on campus. So.
Yeah, that is awesome. And, I know it's still early on, but are there activities and events starting to get planned and formulated?
Yes, absolutely. So right now, I know that one thing that this organization has been doing is making sure that people are registered to vote, because voting is one of the best ways that anybody in the country can make sure that their opinions and that their voice is heard, is to cast your ballot. And especially in Virginia, there's a governor's race that is going on, and that's really huge. So they're just wanting to make sure that people are registered and that they're exercising their civic duty to go out and cast their ballot. So
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Now pivoting to SAAC, you said before we started recording you've been a member since your freshman year?
Yes, so I became a member in the spring semester of my freshman year, which was really, really cool just to get to see. I didn't really know what SAAC was, so as a freshman to kind of get involved in that and to kind of see how it operated and to really see that SAAC does have a lot of say in regards to how, our athletic department goes into to some different things that affect student athletes on campus. So to be able to be in that since my freshman year and to now be the president has been a really cool opportunity for me.
And what was that process like to go from being a part of SAAC to then being, nominated and voted as the president?
Yeah, well, SAAC has been something that's really important to me, especially once I got involved in it and I kind of saw what they did, and they've been a lot of really awesome presidents before me, so I've learned a lot from them. And so to now have this opportunity to be the president, it's exciting, but it's also a really cool opportunity for all of us at SAAC to work together and try to continue to improve and just enhance the student athlete experience that we have here at Lynchburg. It's something that I love and have been very grateful and appreciative to be a part of, and I want to continue that trend and hope that people get to experience that same thing, whether they're Hornets now or whether they're future Hornets down the road. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Now, can you kind of run me through some of the different things that SAAC does throughout the year? I know the Code Red is a big push, and then right now we're recording this during Diversity and Inclusion Week, which is an awesome push from the university and SAAC itself. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that y'all do throughout the year?
Yes, well, to start, Code Red has been a huge push for us this year. With the athletic department, we're super excited that all of our sports are playing in their respective seasons and are playing full seasons. So, COVID last year changed a lot of things, but we're happy to see that return. So, with that, we wanted to make sure that the athletic department as a whole, and then even bigger, our campus community, we're excited to have sports back and are supporting those athletes who are playing. So Code Red is a great experience for us as athletes to know that we have other athletes and other people on campus who are there in mass numbers to cheer us on. But it's also a great time for us to go and watch other sports that we may not be as familiar with, or just to get to see some of our friends and peers participating in something that they're really passionate about. And so we've had a lot of energy towards our Code Red games that we've had, and we have a lot more coming up throughout the rest of the fall semester, as well as in the winter and in the spring. So we're excited to see those numbers and to see people continuing to come and support athletes who are participating in sports. But then on another note, so right now is the NCAA Diversity and Inclusion campaign, which SAAC is taking a part of. So it's NCAA-wide, so across all three divisions this is happening. So that's been super promising to see with everything going on in the country and in the world over the past couple years, specifically over quarantine. It's nice to know that diversity and inclusion is something that's important not only to the NCAA but also here to us at the University of Lynchburg. So we wanted to make sure that we showcase some athletes who are participating and who are advocates for things outside of just sports, and to show that athletes, we're not just athletes, we're also students, and we also have other passions and things that we're involved in outside of athletics. So it's a cool opportunity for people who are involved and who do are activists or are advocates for something they're passionate about to have a platform where they can showcase that and show not only other students here at Lynchburg but also people who engage with Lynchburg in any capacity, whether you're an alum or whether you're just a fan of the university.
Yeah, it's a really awesome resource to help prop up student leaders, right? I think that's a good platform and a good way for y'all to get your voice out there. It's been really awesome to see it unfold throughout the week. We're only about halfway through as the time of this recording, so I'm excited to see what the back half of the week has in store for Diversity and Inclusion Week. Going back to the Code Reds, Saturday, women's soccer against Bridgewater. That's a good time to do a Code Reds. We have a big game. And then y'all's Code Reds next Monday, correct? Against Mary Washington?
Yes, it is.
Also a good time to have a full house on hand. So awesome. Really exciting stuff there. Anything else you want to mention?
I don't think so. I think just continue to come out to those Code Red games and support your athletes, and also take a look at Lynchburg SAAC and Lynchburg sports as we continue with this diversity and inclusion campaign.
Awesome. Now I actually have one more question. Working with SAAC, that means working with Natalie Deacon.
Yes.
And she seems to be a joy to work with. What has your experience been working with, former national champion here at Lynchburg, and somebody who every Hornet seems to love Nat Deacon?
Well, I take part of that too. I absolutely love Coach Deacon. She's awesome. She's been a great resource for me and a great sounding board as we talk through some things and the direction that we want to take SAAC in. But also Coach Waters has been great with providing us with some insight, and also the other officers who are on SAAC. So we all work together together. I was lucky enough to get the president title, but we all work together and we share our ideas because we all have the same vision of wanting to continue to improve and enhance the student athlete experience here. We're all student athletes and we love this university a lot, so we want to see it continue to improve and to uphold the name that we have here at Lynchburg. So it's been great, and Coach Deacon, she's absolutely awesome. Anyone who gets to be coached by her or gets to know her are very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of good shout outs. Good way to end the episode. Awesome. Alex, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
That's going to do it for this episode of A Thing or Two About a Thing or Two. Be sure to come back next week when we have a new episode for you. Till then, we are signing off.